Divas and Dime Daddies. This is Rachel the Dime Diva coming to you with a new episode of Hoops, Helmets, and Heels. Today, we will be discussing the legacy of Kobe Bean Bryant, number 24, and previously number 8 on the Los Angeles Lakers. I was inspired to do this episode because the sixth anniversary of Kobe's death is on January 26th, which is tomorrow. I'm filming this on January 25th. And I've really just felt like, as I've been hearing the discourse around Kobe in the past few years since his death, I've honestly been disappointed to see that I don't feel that he's getting the love and the honor that he truly deserves. I feel like a lot of the younger NBA players, his own contemporaries in the NBA, and of course, people doing commentary on sports podcasts and the like, have been chiming in on Kobe. So I just feel the need to set the record straight to let everyone know how amazing of a player that he was and his status in both the NBA history, the history of the entire league, but also the history of the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's jump in. So, first of all, let's talk the clips. All right. There's been several viral clips that have been circulating from folks who have been discussing Kobe Bryant in the past few months, and even some going back a couple years. So I want to first lay out what those um, former players and commentary folks said, and then let's jump into what makes Kobe one of the best players in NBA history, as well as, in my opinion, the greatest Laker of all time. So first, Chandler Parsons. Chandler Parsons is a former NBA player, I believe. I don't think he's still in the league, but he went on a podcast and claimed that Kevin Durant is a better player than Kobe
God
Bryant.
rest his soul, but he's not top three in most people's eyes. So I don't even understand how this is even an argument with him and
Wait,
LeBron.
who's the third? It's MJ, LeBron, and
I think it's Shaq, but there's a lot of guys would go even older than him. But like, I don't think if you look at rankings across the world, I don't think Kobe is in most people's top three. He's not. But to put him over LeBron, like, again, it's an opinion. You think he's top three, Lou?
I ain't rolling, Chandler. Yeah, absolutely.
I would rank Kevin Durant.
Kobe gets caught up in
Kevin Durant above Kobe.
Yeah,
wow.
It's also generational, Chandler. I'm a smidge older than you, so it's right there at that borderline. But Kobe gets caught up in that conversation because Kobe has publicly said like he wanted to be MJ, down to like what he did with his numbers on his jersey or his mannerisms and all of that. So he gets caught up in that 1A conversation, and him and Jordan are like this, where LeBron is more of a Magic Johnson style player where he stands alone. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be younger guys that's going to put Kevin Durant in that conversation. I'm a Shaq guy as well, Chandler. So I understand.
Yeah. And there's older people
Kobe's in that conversation though.
Magic and Larry Bird, the older guys would put them above Kobe. So it's a generational argument.
Right. Yeah, it's hard if you didn't see any of it. Even if you go
Kobe's
to YouTube,
going to be in a lot of those top threes, though. He's going to be in a lot of those top threes.
Additionally, Gilbert Arenas has had a lot to say about Kobe. He has a viral podcast, and while I understand that there's a lot that he wants to just get out in order to get clicks and views and content, I do feel that some of his statements have been disrespectful to Kobe's legacy. In particular, Gilbert Arenas compared Kobe Bryant to Scottie Pippen, and again implied that Shaq was more of the Jordan and Kobe was more of the Scottie.
Is actually correct. Like, when did ring culture become a thing, right? When you talk about a team award, something that structured needs to win does not boost you in front of individual accomplishments. And when you used Kobe, would frowned upon what LeBron said, I would disagree with that.
Got you.
I would disagree with that.
I remember what I said there.
In real time, Kobe had 3 rings. Y'all wasn't treating him like a 3-ring player. You was treating him like a sidekick. He was considered a sidekick. He was considered a Robin. He was considered the next Pippen. In 2002, with 3 rings, we were still comparing T-Mac. Who was better in the league? You couldn't convince the NBA down the middle who was better. So
between
T-Mac and Kobe.
Totally true. Totally
right?
true.
So if you're sitting there with 3 rings and you're still being compared to someone who doesn't have rings, what do you think happened? I need individual accomplishments. Can you please get rid of Shaq? Right? Because if it was about rings, there was no reason for the fallout with him and Shaq. The fallout was about you only respect the driver of the car. No one respects the passenger of rings. Right? There's no one says it, but the one who's leading the one who's leading the team, that's the gold member right there. That ring counts. The second option ring, that's silver when no one respects it. In history, no one has respected it.
Scottie Pippen's
You got Scottie Pippen with 6 rings that's ranked on the all-time list 32. Right? You got people that don't have rings that's in front of them. So what LeBron is saying is like, wait a minute, when did we take away your greatness as a player and use team structured awards? Right? Because then you're only talking about if you get drafted to Boston, Los Angeles, like what, half of the league came from big cities that's in, more than half that's in the top 75, right? So it's basically saying whoever has private school teaching in the organization is what wins. Because these public school players down in Memphis, Minnesota, you have a hard time.
Very eloquent argument. You won't get away with it, though, but I'll let y'all go first. I'll be back.
And we'll see through all of the evidence that I lay forth in this video that could not be further from the truth. Additionally, Jeff Teague, who, as y'all know, is the host of my favorite sports podcast, Club 520, he disappointed me. He critiqued Kobe's play on offense, saying that it was not quote unquote smooth, and again made a comparison to Kevin Durant. Additionally, he compared him to Paul George.
I ain't gonna lie, no shade or nothing, like no disrespect, but I never liked watching Kobe Bryant play. He wasn't my type of. I knew he was cold. I knew he was a killer, but I ain't never like watching him play. Like all his shit seemed like he was trying too hard. Like it didn't come like easy. He scored easy, but like all his moves was like it looked like when y'all watch KD and Melo, it just looked graceful. Like this shit just too easy.
Kobe was hella intense.
Yeah, like all his jab moves was like.
You saying Kobe should look like LeBron's?
Nah, LeBron looked like unreal. Like I'm just so strong. I'm so much bigger than y'all. Kobe was like excellent. It was great footwork and stuff, but it just like everything was like precise. Like you could hear him. He probably making noise when he do his moves. And KD just be like, shoot over you. This is like, so it's just different.
That's crazy sound bites.
Furthermore, Jeff Teague claimed that Kobe only made the all-defensive team in the NBA 9 times because of his reputation, not because of his actual skill level on defense.
I'll tell y'all something about all defensive teams. If you made it once or twice, 3 times, they just start putting you on there. 12 times all defensive team, I played Kobe, bro. He wasn't guarding like that.
I think Kobe was taking his matchup serious some nights.
So you think Kobe Bryant, who's shooting 40 shots, is going out here and playing?
When it was crunch time.
He's competitive for sure. He was competitive, but that don't mean he was locking up. That's why they had Metal World Peace.
12-time, 9-time first team. I guarded somebody.
I'm not saying he can't guard, but to make 12 all defensive teams,
They just said fucking pick Kobe.
it's a persona. Like the first couple times he made it, like he lock up. After that, bro, he wasn't guarding like that, bro.
And finally, another disturbing claim was made by Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady said that he would have had championships had he been paired with Shaq, and implied that he was basically interchangeable with Kobe.
We have too many talented players that come through this league that are championship worthy. What I mean by that, if you take them off a team that is a championship quality team, replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get diminished because I never won a championship?
Right.
Yeah, that's what
Is it my fault?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Right. Is it my fault? Right. I was.
He later walked those comments back, and it's noted that he was one of the biggest advocates for Kobe's legacy and respect. So I will honor that, but at the same time, I think that it's disappointing. So my major question in all of this is, would people still be putting these takes forth if Kobe was still alive? This is especially important to consider, given that Kobe had a propensity to publicly check those who spoke down on his playing prowess. He would check those in the media, he would check other players. And so my answer to that question is no. I don't think they would be saying these things if Kobe were still alive. So let's jump into why Kobe is such a prolific player in NBA history and what makes him really special and unique. So let's go through his career milestones first. He was a three-peat champion between 2000 and 2002. So this is actually one of the reasons that I personally have such a fondness for Kobe, because that was during a formative time in my own life and development as a sports fan. I was around the age of 11 to 13 when these championships were happening. I went to the Lakers parades. I watched all of the playoff games at home with my family. And so for me, this is a really core memory of being a sports fan. And Kobe was really a huge reason behind all of those memories. Now, yes, Shaquille O'Neal did play on the Lakers during that time. Superman, Diesel, all of these nicknames to indicate Shaq's larger than life personality and play on the court. Aka Shaq was a real thing. He would go to the line often, and due to his mediocre free throw abilities, sometimes it was worth it to just foul him. So he did have the ball going through, Shaq had the ball going through him a lot, and he was a focal point of the Lakers three-peat championships. However, Kobe was the true star. He loved to engage in different trick shots. He was a cultural phenomenon, and not really in the same way that Shaq was. Shaq was more of a jester type. You know, he was out there clowning around, being very entertaining and being a big and loud force. Kobe was more of a stealth assassin, later to be nicknamed Black Mamba. And I feel that he embodied the spirit of Los Angeles more so because he had that Hollywood cool. Not to mention that Kobe was a playmaker and he made all of his teammates better. Moving on to 2005 to 2006 season and the 2006 to 2007 season, Kobe Bryant led the NBA in scoring for those years. And it wasn't just that he led the NBA in scoring, he did so in a fantastical way, right? We have so many clips of what my dad used to call circus shots. He'd be like, oh, Kobe is putting up another circus shot. But he would make them. And it was that kind of shot where the coach would look like bewildered and irritated to see Kobe put the shot up. But then when it went in, it would be like, all right, well, I don't really know. Nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say to that. Um, just 3 days ago, we had the anniversary of Kobe scoring 81 points, which is the second most points scored in an NBA game. This was on January 22nd, 2006. So during this time period, I was a senior in high school, and this was a true cultural phenomenon. So Kobe was basically dominating the game from start to finish. But mind you, this was a regular season basketball game. So when you have NBA player teammates, when you have NBA player opponents, and you just decide to dominate to the point that you score 81 points, it's truly an amazing and almost unbelievable feat. There are times when in an NBA game, there are 81 points scored total by one team. So for Kobe to score 81 points on his own demonstrates not only his offensive ability, but also his mindset. And I think the Mamba mentality is something that truly sets Kobe apart. It's a mentality that some love and some hate. Um, truly, the fact that he felt comfortable to score 81 points means that he decided it's my ball. This is my ball. This is my game. Nobody's going to get in my way, and I'm going to do what I need to do. Some may call that selfish. Some may call that elite mindset. Um, and this Mamba mentality was something that Kobe took with him throughout his entire career. He was really renowned for his mental and physical toughness. It wasn't just the fact that um, he had the mindset that the ball is mine. You know, I'm going to score and shoot as much as I want, and I'm not giving up. Even if I don't have a good shooting game, I'm going to keep shooting. It's also that he would play through injury. So looking at 2013, Kobe suffered his torn Achilles. And at that time, he was in the midst of playing at least 40 games for 40 minutes for at least 7 consecutive games. So 7 games in a row, he played 40 minutes, which means he was basically on the court for the entire game. He wasn't really being subbed out ever. And this was at 34 years old. He was averaging 38.6 minutes per game that season. Before Kobe tore his Achilles, the Lakers general manager, Mitch Kupchak, had spoken to him just days earlier, and Kobe had insisted that he needed to continue to play those high level of minutes in order to get to the Lakers playoff push. So let me be clear. There are some NBA players who have the mindset that I'm going to do as much as I need to stay in the NBA and to get good contracts, to get paid a lot. To be honest with you, I feel like Jeff Teague is that kind of player. No shade to him, but the way that he speaks on his podcast, he speaks like he was just trying to maximize basketball as a career. Kobe was trying to win championships every single year. He had that mindset that what's the point of playing the game if you're not playing to actually win every game and win the championship? And I think that that's a mentality that's missing in a lot of NBA players now, as it's becoming more of an individualistic mindset versus a team mindset. And I think that a lot can be said for the fact that Kobe was a Laker for 20 years and he always played for the Lakers. So again, Mamba mentality, something that is setting Kobe apart. Now let's take it back to Kevin Durant, right? Because Jeff Teague and Chandler Parsons wanted to compare Kobe to Kevin Durant. Okay, so Kevin Durant is a classic mercenary. He's a journeyman. Do you know how many games, or I'm sorry, do you know how many teams Kevin Durant has played for? And his championships were chased. He went and chased championships. So if we compare Kevin Durant to Kobe, it would have to be like, what would have happened had Kevin Durant stayed on the Thunder? If he had stayed on the Thunder and then won championships, then I would actually be able to respect the take that he's better than Kobe. However, I think that, when folks started to leave the Thunder, Kevin Durant eventually left as well. When folks like Shaq started to leave the Lakers, Kobe Bryant stayed. He stayed through some difficult years. Um, for example, so after Shaq left the Lakers and they had some rough times after the three-peat. There was some drought years. There was Kobe coming back from his um, various injuries and wear and tear. But mind you, they made their way back to the championship and did back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010. And in both of those championships, Kobe was the MVP. And that's what happens when you actually stick to a franchise. I understand that there's more issues at play with league politics and team politics, and not everybody can stay with the same team for 20 plus years. However, we got to be real that a lot of these players that are having comparisons made, they're not up to par with him. Let's take it to Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady said if he had played with Shaq, he would have had championships. Okay, great. Well, Kobe had championships without Shaq. So did you win any championships on the Rockets? No. Okay, so in Kobe's last season, in 2015 to 2016, he had a 60-point performance in his final NBA game. Again, this is a man who could score the ball at will. And really, the great thing about him is that he would pick and choose when he wanted to do this. It would really be like, what is the benefit to the team? Because his ultimate goal wasn't to score the most points possible. His ultimate goal was to win the game. I think that actually separates him from somebody like Wilt Chamberlain, who had such a dominant role on his team and was constantly scoring high amount of points, including 100-point games. Obviously, it was a different era of the NBA, but also I think that Wilt prioritized his own personal statistics over team needs. And I think Kobe was the perfect mix of having that ability to score at will, but also taking into account the fact that sometimes the team doesn't need me to score. So let's run down Kobe's stats. Championships. 18-time All-Star. 15-time member of the All-NBA team. 12-time member of the NBA All-Defensive team. 2008 NBA MVP. Fourth all-time scoring in both regular season and postseason. Two-time inductee into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021 for his play on the Lakers, and for 2025 as a member of the United States men's basketball team for the Olympics. Kobe is the Lakers' all-time leading scorer. Kobe is the first guard in the NBA to play 20 seasons. Kobe spent his entire career with the Lakers. So I think these stats lead me to want to challenge a couple of different things in the clips that I mentioned earlier that were critiquing Kobe unfairly. Jeff Teague's clip critiquing Kobe's play on offense by saying that it was not smooth in comparison to Paul George and Kevin Durant. So Kobe was scoring in a different way than these forwards, right? Kobe is a guard. Kobe is a shooting guard. So he may have needed to have a little bit of a more herky-jerky motion, as well as needed to get to his certain spots, because he was needing to facilitate for other people on the court. He wasn't the point guard, but sometimes he could take on point guard duties. He could also play the small forward. So I don't think it's fair to compare these almost 7-footers to the way that Kobe Bryant needed to play. Going back to Jeff Teague for Kobe Bryant's defense, saying that Kobe made all defensive team 9 times because of his reputation versus his actual skill level, I think that overlooks a couple of things. Kobe was typically going to be guarding the team's best player on defense, while he was also going to be prolific on offense during the same game, right? So a defense forward guard, like I want to use like Tony Allen as a example, because he during his time with the Celtics, he was always like really amazing on defense, and he would make the all defensive team. He wasn't expected to go back on offense and be the primary mover and shaker on offense for the team. Kobe was typically going to be guarding the best players on the other team's offense. Additionally, Kobe had a certain aura, a certain fame, and a certain global notoriety. And the Lakers had a level of prestige during his career that people were constantly bringing their A game whenever they played against Kobe. So if people scored a lot on Kobe, that doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't guarding them well. It may also just mean that they were putting on the performance of a lifetime, because everybody gets up to play the Lakers. Jeff, you played on Minnesota, you played on Atlanta, right? Nobody was getting up for those games. When you played in Boston, did you have the level of playing time that would have led you to really be exposed on defense? So I think you got to think about those things before starting to critique someone in a situation that is completely different than your situation. Additionally, let's talk about Lakers legacy. Some would say that LeBron James is a more decorated or more prominent Laker in the history of the franchise than Kobe. I think all we need to say in order to dissuade anyone from thinking that is LeBron is a Cav. Like when he goes into the Hall of Fame, I feel like he's gonna go in as a Cav. You know, he was on the Cavaliers twice. He won his first championship with the Heat. He's not a Laker at heart. We embrace him in Los Angeles, and I feel like he does fit the Lakers lore and legacy really well. But if you think about who is the consummate, tried and true, to the bone Laker, it's not LeBron James. It's Kobe Bryant. Kobe is widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential basketball players in history, as he should be. Bryant was called one of the greatest players in the history of the game by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. And many of his peers, including Kevin Durant, Dirk Nowitzki, Dwayne Wade, and Derrick Rose, called Bryant their generation's version of Michael Jordan. And yes, he belongs up there in the same conversations with Michael Jordan, not only because of his global fame, because of his influence, and because of the fact that he was truly a two-way player, but also because of the special level of competitiveness that he brought to the sport. You know, Michael Jordan is renowned for making everything into a competition. Kobe was that same guy. And as he got further in his career, he started to become a better teammate and be a little bit more people focused than task focused, and getting the job done focused, which, you know, we appreciate his level of focus in that. But he also started to become a mentor and building those teammates up. So I'll end it with this. Rest in peace, Kobe. You are the greatest Laker of all time. You deserve all the honor. And thank you for such amazing memories as a Lakers fan for the past 37 years. Bye, y'all.